Welcome to microbiology classroom. Today I want to discuss about principles of chemotherapy, chemotherapeutic agents and mode of action of antimicrobial agents. The treatment of diseases with chemical substances is known as chemotherapy. Chemical compounds that are used to treat diseases are called chemotherapeutic agents. Chemotherapeutic agents are used to treat various diseases. One category of chemotherapeutic agents are antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agents. Antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agents are used to treat infectious diseases caused by pathogenic microorganisms. Antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agents kills or inhibits the growth of pathogenic microorganisms without causing damage to the host cells. Antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agents are categorized into two types: antibiotics, synthetic antimicrobial agents. Antibiotics are secondary metabolites produced by the microorganisms which in low concentration or high dilution inhibits the growth of other microorganisms or kills other microorganisms. On the other hand, synthetic antimicrobial agents are synthesized by chemical synthesis, and these synthetic antimicrobial agents inhibits or kills microorganisms. Before 1890, there are only 3 antimicrobial agents are considered for chemotherapy. Only 3 antimicrobial agents are used to treat infectious diseases: extract of bark of Cinchona officinalis, extract of roots of Ipecacuanha roots, mercury. These are the 3 extracts used to treat infectious diseases. Extract of bark of Cinchona was used extensively in Brazil, later in Europe for treating malaria caused by Plasmodium species. Indians of Peru used Ipecacuanha root extract for treating amoebic dysentery caused by Entamoeba histolytica. This contains active principle emetin, an alkaloid which is active against Entamoeba histolytica. Mercury was extensively used from 12th century onwards for treating syphilis and skin diseases, skin infections. Modern era of chemotherapy began with the work of German physician Paul Ehrlich. Paul Ehrlich was regarded as father of chemotherapy. Paul Ehrlich tried to find out dye molecules which are active against bacteria. He searched a number of dyes which do not stain tissues of the host and selectively stains the bacterial pathogens and destroys the bacteria without causing harm to the host cells. Paul Ehrlich, by his extensive search of dyes in 1904, found that a dye, Trypan red, was active against trypanosomiasis, African sleeping sickness caused by Trypanosoma gambians. And another contribution of Paul Ehrlich was discovery of organoarsenical compound arsphenamine, which was also known as Salvarsan 606. Ehrlich and Sachiro Hata found that organoarsenical compound arsphenamine, which was also known as Salvarsan 606, was active against causative agent of syphilis, Treponema pallidum. Because of these contributions, Paul Ehrlich was regarded as father of chemotherapy. Gerhard Domag discovered that Prantosil red, a dye, was active against pathogenic streptococci and staphylococci in vivo but not in the test tube in vitro conditions. Later, French scientist Jacques Treffaut and his wife Thérèse Treffaut found that Prantosil red was converted in the body to sulfanilamide, which is the active principle of Prantosil red. But the credit for first synthesis of sulfur drug sulfanilamide goes to Paul Gelmo, an Austrian industrial chemist in 1908. In 1908, Gelmo synthesized sulfanilamide, but its antibacterial property was shown by Gerhard Domag in 1935. The modern history of antibiotics, the modern history of penicillin research began in 1870s by Ernest Duchenne in the United Kingdom. And Ernest Duchenne first discovered the penicillin before the rediscovery by Alexander Fleming. Sir John Scott Burton Sanderson worked as a lecturer during 1854 to 1862. He observed that culture fluid covered with fungus produced no bacterial growth, which is active against bacteria. Penicillin was actually discovered in 1896 by a 21-year-old young medical student named Ernest Duchenne. His work was forgotten and penicillin was rediscovered by Alexander Fleming in 1928. Before discovery of penicillin by Alexander Fleming, 32 years before the discovery of the penicillin by Alexander Fleming, antibiotic properties of the penicillin derived from the penicillium. This was shown by Ernest Duchesne. He submitted PhD thesis in 1897 for a doctoral degree about the therapeutic capability of the culture fluid where the fungus Penicillium glaucum was grown. He performed one experiment. He injected guinea pigs with media containing bacteria Escherichia coli and Salmonella typhi and media containing Penicillium glaucum. These animals survived and shown resistance to the Salmonella typhi and E. coli. The culture filtrate of Penicillium glaucum inhibited the bacterial growth and prevented the bacterial infection. He proposed that to treat bacterial diseases, he proposed that culture media where the fungus had grown had shown antibacterial effect. Alexander Fleming, known for discovery of penicillin, Alexander Fleming cultured the pus from the wounds of the patients on agar medium, and he found that Staphylococcus aureus was responsible for wound infections. He left the Staphylococcus aureus culture plates on the laboratory bench and he went for vacation. After vacation, he observed the culture plates which were left on the laboratory bench. He found that there was a mold contaminant in these plates. Surrounding the mold, there was no growth of staphylococci. Large inhibition zone was found around the fungal colony. He identified that fungus as Penicillium notatum, and he thought that fungus is producing antibacterial compound which killed the surrounding bacterial lawn. He grew the Penicillium notatum in liquid medium and used the culture filtrate to treat wound infections. Howard Florey and Ernest Chain obtained Penicillium notatum culture from Fleming. They requested Alexander Fleming to provide the culture of Penicillium notatum, and they grew this fungus in liquid medium, and they developed the methods for production and separation of penicillin from liquid culture medium, and they developed the purification methods for separation of penicillin powder from the broth. For these contributions, Alexander Fleming, Florey and Chain, they received the Nobel Prize in 1945 for the discovery and production of penicillin. Selman Waxman in 1944 discovered the antibiotic streptomycin produced by the actinomycete Streptomyces griseus. Albert Schwartz, student of Selman Waxman, found that streptomycin was effective against Mycobacterium tuberculosis, causative agent of tuberculosis disease. Waxman also discovered neomycin. Waxman and his student Hubert Lechevalier discovered neomycin produced by Streptomyces froidei. Waxman, for these contributions, received Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine in 1952. Selman Waxman is known for discovery of a number of antibiotics, actinomycin, clavacin, streptozotocin, streptomycin, glycine, neomycin and number of other antibiotics. Yellapragada Subbarao, known for discovery of another important antibiotic, chlortetracycline or ariomycin. Yellapragada Subbarao, Indian biochemist, he discovered the function of ATP as energy source in cells. He also discovered synthesized folic acid. He discovered that folic acid is used to treat tropical sprue disease. He discovered methotrexate, which is used to treat the cancer. He synthesized aminopterin, first anti-cancer drug, and he also known for synthesis and discovery of diethyl carbamazine, DEC, a derivative of piperagine, an anti-helminthic drug for treating the filariasis. Still, DEC is used to treat filariasis. He discovered tetracycline, chlortetracycline. He found that this chlortetracycline is broad spectrum antibiotic, active against number of bacteria, both gram positive and gram negative bacteria. Properties of chemotherapeutic agents. What are the different properties of chemotherapeutic agents? Chemotherapeutic agent must have selective toxicity. It must kill or inhibit microbial pathogen only. It should not be toxic to the host. Selective toxicity is very important property of ideal chemotherapeutic agent. The degree of selective toxicity can be expressed in terms of therapeutic dose and toxic dose. What is therapeutic dose? What is toxic dose? The concentration of the drug, the dose of the drug required for the clinical treatment of a particular disease or infection is called therapeutic dose. What is toxic dose? The dose or concentration of the drug at which it becomes too toxic to the host is called toxic dose. Chemotherapeutic agent must have high therapeutic index value. Chemotherapeutic agent must have high therapeutic index value. What is therapeutic index? Therapeutic index is denoted by toxic dose by therapeutic dose. Therapeutic index is denoted by therapeutic index is equal to toxic dose by therapeutic dose. Drugs with low therapeutic index cause damage to the host and host cells and cause side effects. Drugs with higher therapeutic index are highly selective. They kill or inhibit pathogen only, do not cause damage to the host and host cells. drugs should have low minimum inhibitory concentration or minimum lethal concentration values against pathogens. Drugs should have low MIC or MLC values against pathogens. What is MIC? MIC is the lowest concentration of a drug which inhibits or prevents the growth of a particular microorganism. The lowest concentration of drug inhibiting or preventing the growth of a pathogen is known as MIC. What is MLC? Minimum lethal concentration. Minimum lethal concentration is the lowest concentration of the drug which kills the microbial pathogen. And another property of the ideal chemotherapeutic agent, it should be active against many different species of the pathogens. In other words, it should have broad spectrum of activity. It should be active against all pathogens. Other property, it should be soluble in body fluids. Drug should be soluble in body fluids and it should reach target site in the body. So when it is soluble in body fluids, then only it will reach the target site. And it should not produce hypersensitive reaction or allergy in the host. On the basis of mechanism of action, antimicrobial agents are categorized into different types. Cell wall synthesis inhibitors, cell membrane targeting drugs, protein synthesis inhibitors, DNA synthesis inhibitors, RNA synthesis inhibitors, mycolic acid synthesis inhibitors, folic acid synthesis inhibitors. On the basis of mode of action of antimicrobial agents, they are categorized into different types. First one, cell wall synthesis inhibitors. They inhibit the bacterial cell wall synthesis. They inhibit the bacterial cell wall synthesis, peptidoglycan biosynthesis, murine biosynthesis. Examples are penicillins, cephalosporins, vancomycin, bacitracin, monobactams, carbapenems. The second category of the antimicrobial agents are cell membrane targeting drugs. They target the cell membrane. For example, polyene group of antibiotics, amphotericin B, nystatin, miconazole, ketoconazole. These are antifungal antibiotics. They attack the cell membrane of the fungi. And there are also some other antibiotics, gromycidin, tyrosine, etc. They attack the cell membrane of bacteria. Protein synthesis inhibitors. Protein synthesis inhibitors, they inhibit the bacterial protein synthesis. They inhibit the bacterial protein synthesis. These are of two types. Drugs binding to 30S subunit of 70S ribosome. Examples, tetracyclines, doxycycline, minocycline, aminoglycoside group of antibiotics. They bind to 30S subunit of the bacterial ribosome and they inhibit protein synthesis in bacteria. Drugs binding to 50S subunit, larger subunit of the bacterial ribosome. Chloramphenicol, streptogramins, they bind to 50S subunit of the bacterial ribosome and inhibit protein synthesis in prokaryotes, bacteria. DNA synthesis inhibitors, another group of drugs. Fluoroquinolones such as ciprofloxacin are best examples to DNA synthesis inhibitors. RNA synthesis inhibitors, rifampicin is best example to RNA synthesis inhibitors. Metabolic inhibitors are another group of antibiotics or chemotherapeutic agents. Metabolic inhibitors are of different types. Mycolic acid synthesis inhibitors, example isoniazid, which inhibit mycolic acid biosynthesis in Mycobacterium. Folic acid synthesis inhibitors inhibit folic acid biosynthesis in bacteria. Examples are sulfonamides and trimethoprim, which blocks folic acid synthesis in bacteria. Antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agents act on various targets on the bacterial cells. Just I told to you, cell wall synthesis inhibitors, they block cell wall synthesis. Peptidoglycan biosynthesis. For example, cycloserine, vancomycin, bacitracin, penicillins, cephalosporins, monobactams, carbapenems, they inhibit cell wall synthesis in bacteria. And there is other hand, cell membrane damaging antibiotics. Polymyxins, daptomycin, etc. they damage the cell membrane in bacteria. On the other hand, there are some other antibiotics. DNA synthesis inhibitors. DNA synthesis inhibitors, they include quinolones, noridixic acid, ciprofloxacin, novobiocin. They inhibit the DNA gyrase action. In that way, they block the DNA replication. And rifampicin and streptoviricins, they inhibit the DNA polymerase. In that way, they block the DNA synthesis. On the other hand, there are another group of drugs, protein synthesis inhibitors. Protein synthesis inhibitors which bind to 30S ribosome include tetracyclines, spectinomycin, streptomycin, gentamicin, kanamycin, amikacin, nitrofurans. They bind to 30S subunit of the ribosome and they inhibit the protein synthesis in bacteria. And on the other hand, there are certain drugs, erythromycin, chloramphenicol, clindamycin, lincomycin. They bind to 50S subunit of the ribosome, bacterial ribosome, and inhibit protein synthesis in bacteria. So these are protein synthesis. Inhibition of cell wall synthesis. This is inhibition of cell wall synthesis. Bacteria and fungal cells, they possess the cell walls, whereas animal cells lack cell walls. Antimicrobial drugs inhibiting cell wall synthesis in bacteria and cell wall synthesis in fungi, they selectively damage bacteria and fungi. They are highly selective. They do not cause any damage to the host cells because animal cell lacks the cell walls. Penicillins and cephalosporins, they inhibit cell wall synthesis in bacteria. They cause weakening of these cell walls in bacterial cells and they cause lysis of the bacteria. Penicillins, they contain beta-lactam ring. Beta-lactam ring is present in penicillins. Penicillins, they inhibit formation of peptidoglycan. They inhibit final step of peptidoglycan biosynthesis. Cross-linking of the peptidoglycan is inhibited by the penicillin. Penicillins, they are non-toxic to animal cells because animal cells do not have the cell wall. Penicillin is a beta-lactam antibiotic commercially produced by Penicillium chrysogenum. Penicillins and cephalosporins, they interfere with final stage of peptidoglycan biosynthesis. They inhibit transpeptidase enzyme involved in cross-linking of tetrapeptide chains in peptidoglycan. Bacterial cell walls locking the cross-linking of peptide chains are attacked by the autolytic enzymes, autolysins produced by the organism, which are present in the cells, which degrades their own cell wall. So penicillin, it contains a core of 6-amino penicillinic acid, which is common to all penicillins. You can see the structure of the penicillin consisting of beta-lactam ring, and there is a side chain. Benzyl penicillin is a basic type of the penicillin, penicillin G. Actually, the nucleus of the penicillin, that is formed by the cysteine and valine, 2 amino acids making the basic structure of the penicillin, the beta-lactam ring. Natural penicillins include penicillin G, penicillin V, penicillin F. They are produced by the fungi, that is Penicillium notatum and Penicillium chrysogenum. But there are some semi-synthetic penicillins. Penicillins, natural penicillins are active against only gram-positive bacteria. But semi-synthetic penicillins, their spectrum is increased. Semi-synthetic penicillins are active against both gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. And semi-synthetic penicillins are resistant to beta-lactamase or penicillinase produced by some bacteria. Some bacteria, they become resistant to the penicillin by producing penicillinase enzyme, which cleaves the beta-lactam ring of the penicillin and converts the penicillin into inactive penicilloic acid. Whereas semi-synthetic penicillins are resistant to beta-lactamase or penicillinase. Semi-synthetic penicillins are produced by adding some chemical groups to the natural penicillins. To the natural penicillin, some chemical groups are added and semi-synthetic penicillins are produced. Examples are methicillin, ampicillin, carbenicillin, amoxicillin. Penicillins and semi-synthetic penicillins, they inhibit the peptidoglycan biosynthesis. They inhibit cross-linking reaction in the peptidoglycan, the final step of the peptidoglycan synthesis, murine biosynthesis, that is cross-linking reaction, is inhibited by the penicillin. Penicillin, it inhibits the final step of peptidoglycan biosynthesis. The final step of peptidoglycan biosynthesis is inhibited by beta-lactam antibiotics, penicillins and cephalosporins. Actually, these beta-lactam antibiotics, they bind to transpeptidase enzyme. They bind to serine residue in transpeptidase enzyme. As a result, serine residue is acylated by the beta-lactam antibiotic with cleavage of CN bond of the beta-lactam ring. This renders the enzyme inoperative and inhibits peptidoglycan synthesis. Agents causing damage to cell membrane. There are chemotherapeutic agents, they cause damage to the cell membrane. For example, polypeptide antibiotics, gramicidin, tyrosine, produced by Bacillus brevis species, are active against gram-positive bacteria. They make holes or pores in the cell membrane of the bacteria. They cause damage to the cell membrane. Polymyxins are effective against gram-negative bacteria. They react with the phosphate group of phospholipids and disorganize the cell membrane. Polymyxins, they cause perforations in the cell membrane leading to leakage of cytoplasm. Polymyxin B, polymyxin E are some examples. Polymyxin B is bactericidal antibiotic active against gram-negative bacteria. It is used as topical antibiotic as a powder or in lotions. Polymyxin E is active against Pseudomonas aeruginosa. It is last line therapy to treat Pseudomonas aeruginosa infections. On the other hand, there is another group of antibiotics, polyene antibiotics. They contain many double bonds in their structure. Polyene, ene means double bond. Nystatin, produced by Streptomyces naursi, and amphotericin B, produced by Streptomyces nodosus, are large ringed structures with conjugated double bonds. These polyene antibiotics are antifungal antibiotics. They react with the cell membranes of fungi and they cause damage to the fungal cell membranes. They are highly selective because they react with the ergosterol, unique component in the cell membranes of fungi. Other category of antimicrobial agents are protein synthesis inhibitors. Protein synthesis inhibitors include tetracycline, chlortetracycline, oxytetracycline, minocycline, doxycycline or tetracycline group of antibiotics. These antibiotics, bind to 30th subunit of the ribosome and inhibits binding of amino-acyl tRNA molecules to the ribosomal A site. Tetracyclines are bacteriostatic antibiotics. Streptomycin, kanamycin, neomycin are aminoglycoside group of antibiotics. They contain glycoside residue. They bind to 30S mRNA formyl methionine tRNA initiation complex and inhibit binding of 50S subunit to initiation complex. They also cause misreading of the genetic message carried by the mRNA. Gentamicin binds to 30th subunit of the bacteria and inhibit protein synthesis and cause misreading of genetic message carried by mRNA. Aminoglycoside group of antibiotics, they cause misreading of the genetic message carried by mRNA, leading to production of defective proteins, toxic proteins, which cause damage to the bacterial cells and which kills bacterial cells. Chloramphenicol is produced by Streptomyces venezuelae, now produced by chemical synthesis. Chloramphenicol is a broad spectrum antibiotic. It binds to 23S ribosomal RNA of 50S subunit of 70S ribosome complex. It actually inhibits peptidyl transferase enzyme and blocks polypeptide chain synthesis. Translation or polypeptide chain synthesis is blocked by chloramphenicol. Chloramphenicol, it's a broad spectrum antibiotic. It binds to 23S rRNA of 50S subunit of 70S ribosome and inhibit peptidyl transferase enzyme which is required for peptide bond formation. That means chloramphenicol is inhibiting peptide bond formation. Macrolides, they inhibit translocation movement of ribosome along the mRNA. Macrolides, they inhibit translocation by binding to 50S ribosomal subunit. Erythromycin, clarithromycin, azithromycin, they bind to 50S subunit specifically and they bind to peptidyl transferase cavity in the proximity of A and P loops near adenine residue at 2058 place of 23S rRNA and they inhibit translocation movement of ribosomes. So there are mainly three major classes of protein synthesis inhibitors: chloramphenicol, macrolides and lincosamides binding to 50S subunit and preventing the peptide bond formation. Aminoglycoside antibiotics binding to 30S ribosomal subunit and causing the impair in proofreading and they are misreading of the mRNA. And there are tetracyclines, another group of antibiotics binding to 30S ribosomal subunit and blocking the binding of tRNAs and thereby inhibiting the protein synthesis. These are the three major groups of protein synthesis inhibitors: chloramphenicol, macrolides and lincosamides, aminoglycosides and tetracyclines. So this is the figure showing the protein synthesis inhibitors, different groups of protein synthesis inhibitors. Inhibition of DNA synthesis. There are antimicrobial agents which inhibit replication, DNA synthesis in bacteria. Nalidixic acid, oxolinic acid, ciprofloxacin, ofloxacin, norfloxacin, levofloxacin, lomofloxacin, sparfloxacin. These antimicrobial agents, they inhibit DNA replication. These antimicrobials, they bind to alpha subunit of DNA gyrase, topoisomerase and prevent the supercoiling of DNA. Thereby, they inhibit the DNA synthesis. Whereas novomyosin, coumaricin A, they binds to beta subunit of DNA gyrase and inhibits the DNA gyrase activity. DNA gyrase inhibition inhibits the DNA replication, DNA repair, transcription and even the bacterial chromosome separation during cell division. fluoroquinolone group of antibiotics, they bind to DNA gyrase, DNA topoisomerase 2 and DNA topoisomerase 4, and they prevent the removal of superhelicity of the DNA. DNA gyrase or topoisomerase 2, it introduces negative twists in the DNA and helps in separation of DNA strands in DNA replication. So this activity is blocked by these quinolone group of antibiotics, ciprofloxacin, nalidixic acid, and these antibiotics, they inhibit the DNA replication. Metronidazole, it also binds to DNA and blocks the DNA replication. Metronidazole is active against anaerobic organism, Bacteroides, Clostridia. Metronidazole is used to treat anaerobic bacterial infections after surgery. It is also used to treat Trichomonas, Giardia and Entamoeba infections. RNA synthesis inhibitors, transcription inhibitors, rifamycin or rifampin produced by Streptomyces mediterraneae. Rifampicin, it binds to beta subunit of RNA polymerase and inhibits binding of RNA polymerase to DNA. Thus, it inhibits RNA synthesis or transcription. Actinomycin D, produced by Streptomyces antibioticus, it also binds to minor groove of DNA and forms a complex which blocks RNA polymerase, which inhibits the synthesis of RNA. Another group of antimicrobial agents are metabolic inhibitors. Metabolic inhibitors include sulfa drugs, sulfonamides or sulfones or sulfonilamide. Mode of action of these drugs, how they act. These antimicrobials are analogues of PABA, para-amino benzoic acid, and they competitively inhibit formation of folic acid. Actually, sulfa drugs, they have broad range of activity against both gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. Mainly, they are used to treat urinary tract infections. Sulfa drugs in combination with trimethoprim are used to treat number of bacterial infections. They block folic acid metabolism. Sulfa drugs are structural analogues of para-amino benzoic acid PABA, a molecule crucial for folic acid synthesis. Sulfa drugs, sulfonamide is an analog of para-amino benzoic acid. Sulfa drugs, sulfonamide, it binds to the enzyme dihydroteroate synthetase. Dihydroteroate synthetase is the enzyme responsible for condensation of dihydropteridine with para-amino benzoic acid to form dihydroteroic acid. Sulfonamide is an analog of para-amino benzoic acid. Instead of para-amino benzoic acid, sulfonamide binds to dihydroteroate synthase. At active site of dihydroteroate synthase, sulfa drug sulfonamide binds instead of PABA. So this reaction is blocked. So dihydroteroic acid is not synthesized. If dihydroteroic acid is not synthesized, dihydrofolic acid is not synthesized. From dihydrofolic acid, tetrahydrofolic acid is not synthesized. In that way, sulfa drug blocks folic acid synthesis. Whereas trimethoprim, it blocks the last step of folic acid synthesis, that is synthesis of tetrahydrofolic acid from dihydrofolic acid. It is anti-metabolite of dihydrofolate reductase. Trimethoprim and methotrexate, they binds to dihydrofolate reductase and inhibit formation of tetrahydrofolic acid from dihydrofolic acid. And generally combination therapy is used, trimethoprim and sulfonilamide combination is used to treat number of bacterial infections. Before discovery of the antibiotics, trimethoprim and sulfa drug are used to treat the bacterial infections. Thank you. Thank you for watching my video on principles of chemotherapy, chemotherapeutic agents and mode of action of antimicrobial agents. Thank you.